family? I'm back. Back again. Back again. Back again. So I'm here to tell you that where you from is just the beginning. Your future. Your future. Growing up in the hood, man, when I tell you it was the best times. We didn't always have much, but like we always had what we needed. There was times where, difficult seasons in our life when I was young growing up, but in that moment it seems like that was it. Although we were happy, it seemed like that was, didn't think about the future. It was just living in that moment. Considering we wasn't really exposed to much, it wasn't really a whole lot to look forward to other than playing as kids. But it wasn't a whole lot to look forward to. So I totally get like growing up, like kids nowadays growing up in the hood, how it's so easy to embrace as humans, as it's so easy for us to embrace where we are, especially at a young age, not being exposed to much other than what's in the hood. So it's like, we embrace the hood completely, and oftentimes it's like, it shapes our thinking. It changes how we look at things, or should I say it shapes how we look at things. But I would say like growing up in the hood was the best times. Growing up in the hood, like, in the struggle, it's like, it was what we had, but it's, that was enough. And sometimes that's scary, that's a good thing, but it's scary in the sense of, as, you get older into teenage years, at that point, like, you fully embrace your neighborhood. You pretty much embrace, the environment in which that you live in. And it's like you either keep going down that same path or you go down a different direction. My point is where you came from, where I came from, like it was just the beginning. Like what we seen, that's all we knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, and good and bad. And for as like the young kids today though, the youth today, it's much worse than it was when, when I was growing up, I would think. But it's like now, man, it's just, did my GPS not pick up on this traffic here? I don't know about y'all, but I hate traffic with a passion. I truly do. And the fact that my GPS didn't pick it up, I'm kind of upset. That threw me off. I'm sorry, y'all. That threw me off. That threw me out completely. gotta dip through this traffic. So as I was saying though, like where you from, like think about what you experienced as a kid, like not to rehash anything that possibly possibly happened to you or anything, but it's just just thinking about where you come from to where you are now. Like you wouldn't, when you were younger, you didn't see this, or maybe you did, but it's like, how did you ever think that you would be here? Did you ever imagine this? Even if it was hard, like difficult, like the hardships, did you ever think that you would get out of it? Did you ever think that that season of your life would come to a close? Like, would you argue with me, like when you was younger, that right now life is much worse than what it was? Please name a car for an edit. I don't understand. So my point is, where you came from was just the beginning. Where are you going though? Where are you going though? Life has many ups and downs, twists and turns, and we get so caught up in the roller coaster of life to where we get lost, and where we possibly seen ourselves at some point, it just fade away as we got lost in the turbulence that life comes with. You have to see past where you are. You have to see past where you are. You have to spend time in your future and believe that vision or that dream that God has given you, that will come to pass. Because when we grew up in the hood, what we seen in the hood was all we knew. We didn't see anything better. We didn't see anything, different. We embraced the hood to the fullest, like that was home. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no matter how good or bad life is, if we don't see past where we are, we'll probably remain there. SUV. We will probably remain there. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? Where would you want to be in the next 7 years? We have to program our mind to think about the next in terms of doing what we must do today, but what we do today, how we will plan and execute on our today, we have to understand that this decision today is going to get us somewhere tomorrow. So what decision are you making that's keeping you where you are? Over the years, what decisions have you made that has kept you where you are? Do you find yourself becoming frustrated and discouraged because nothing is changing in your life? We have to look at the decisions that we're making every single day. Like when we make decisions, are we thinking about our future in mind? Are we thinking about our legacy in mind? Are we thinking about our well-being and our health in mind? Because if we aren't attentive to it, then we'll just live our lives aimlessly, and that gets us nowhere. And then we become to grow more frustrated and upset and discouraged in life because our lives didn't turn out how we wished it would, how we expected it to be, how everybody figured it was going to be. Like my life was going to be so this and so that, only to look at your life. You look at your life as it's a complete fail because everyone had so high of expectations for you, where you believed in their expectation of yourself, but you didn't place any expectations on yourself, to where you didn't do what was necessary that was going to get you to that future life that you still feel like you deserve. And it's because oftentimes we reflect on where we came from and we stop there. We might reflect on where we came from and where we are now, but we stop there. We don't think about our future. Therefore, we don't make decisions with our future in mind. So the future that we end up walking into oftentimes look exactly like our present. And again, we become frustrated and so overwhelmed with life and the everyday responsibility of it, but nothing is changing because we making decisions not with a future, not with a better in mind. We just making decisions day in and day out that's going to keep us here in the next 3 years. So start thinking about your future. Where do you see yourself? Like, where would you like to be in 3 years? Your career. Like, think about those things. Because at least you have a starting point. And that starting point, you can start planning and making decisions that's going to help you get to that future life that you see, that future life that God has shown you. And when you can see that, when you can visualize into the future and see what that looks like when you go through hard times in life, you know this isn't it. It's much more to this. It's much better that's to come. You understand where you are, you're not there to stay. But if you don't see a future in mind, when you don't spend time into a future, seeing a better life for yourself, when you encounter something hard, it is going to break you down. How many of us have been broken down before because of that? What adjustments have you made from that? What changes have you made from that? Have you got to a point in your life like, you know what, this not it. It has to be something better. This can't be it. It's more to my life than this. Like, that's where I was 6 years ago. That's where I was. Like, I would say the last 10 years of my life has been real. It has been real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can easily look back and have my regrets, but honestly, what does regret do for us? Get us in this weird space that's healthy for us. So yeah, sure, I can have regrets, but one thing God told me a few years ago, there's no point of having regrets. He He said, look in your past and think about the things that you would have did differently. And he said, have no regrets. Just make decisions starting today, moving forward to where they're strategic and they're well thought out. So moving forward, you will no longer have regrets about anything. So as it relates to regrets, let that be what it is. Let that be what it is, and let that remain where that's at. Because as long as we're regretting, we're living in the past. It's much harder getting to our future if we're looking into the past, wishing we could have did this, wishing we could have did that. It's harder to get into our future when we holding on the weight of the past, of what we should have did. If I only would have, like, we all can do that, but what are you doing today that's going to guarantee you in the next year you won't look back on today and be like, dang, I knew I should have. Learn from the regret, but look at today, okay, I've made a number of mistakes and it got me here. What do I need to start doing now that's going to create that's going to create a better, where I no longer have to have regrets? How can I be more intentional about my decision making with where I'm going in mind, with my future in mind, so I won't have to look back and like, dang, I can't believe you feel me? Granted, like, mistakes are made. Things happen. We live and we learn. But L's aren't losses. Those are learning experiences. And we can never be mad at the learning experiences. We can never be mad at the learning experiences. Because the learning experiences helps us master better decision making. Learning experiences, it grows and develops us, it matures us. We know the to-dos and the don'ts, like we know the causes and effects. So because that didn't feel good, I know not to make that mistake again. I know not to do that no more. So don't look at the L's as losses. Look at them as learning experiences, and learn every step of the way, and also build every step of the way. Build every step of the way. Because you begin to build, the more you build, especially on a solid foundation, if you slip, you won't fall too far. If that makes sense. I don't know where that came from. Don't judge me. So as some of you are living a life of regret right now, ask yourself, what would you have did differently? If you are one that has a lot of regret, what would you have done differently? What would you have done differently? Okay, based on what you would have did differently, what would have been the end result of that? Like, if you are one who live in regret or has a lot of regrets, what would you have done differently? If you would have, whatever decision you would have made, whatever you would have done differently, what do you think the outcome would have been? And not to be deep with it, but it's just simply understanding. If I don't start making better decisions in my life, for my life now, next year, I'm going to then add it on to more regret. So be more calculated in your decision making. When you make decisions, have future in mind. Don't make decisions based on how you feeling in this moment. That's how regrets are birthed. Make decisions with future in mind. What does your future look like? When was the last time you spent time in your future? If we don't see our future self, if we don't see a better future life, chances are where we are, like when we were kids, what we were so consumed with, the environment we was brought up in, odds are that's all we seen, that's all we embraced because that's all we knew. So are you embracing where you are to the point where this is all you see? If this is all you see, then where are you going in life? Where are you going in life? Because what we have to understand is our decision making leads us somewhere. Whether we know it or not, whether we want to be there or not. But every decision we make is going to lead us somewhere in the future. Where is it going to land us? I always say make plans for your future or your future will make plans for you, and I promise you, you will not like the plans that your future is going to hand you. So if you don't see a better future, if you don't know what that looks like, chances are your future is going to deal you a set of cards that when you look at it, you sit down and to play it, you're not going to like what you look at because you're not doing anything to shape your future. You're not doing anything to change your now that's going to get you a better future, get you to your better future. You, myself included, we have to be more intentional about our decision making. We both can agree, like, you know what? Hey, I got to get up and go to work today. Why? Well, I have bills. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Is that it? Because that's it. That's what our lives look like. Getting up, going to work, because we got to pay bills. So guess what? And how long have you been doing that? How long have I been doing that? So if we look back last 2 or 3 years, that's how we've been looking at life. I got to get up and go to work because I have bills to pay. Guess what? That has always been the foundation of our lives and the motivation for why we get up and go to a job that we absolutely hate. Unmotivated. Why? Because that same old thought that we've been having, that same old feeling, that same old perspective, that same old mindset that we've always had. I got to get up to go to work. Why? Because I got bills to pay. And nothing is wrong with that. That's legitimate. But is that all we see? If that's all we see, then guess what? In 5 years, we still gonna be on that same old, I got to get up and go to work. Why? Because I got bills to pay. You see how the way we think and view things, it shapes our future. So if we aren't intentional about, first of all, if we don't know what that better life look like, if we don't know what that future life look like, if we don't know where we want to be at some point in our lives, then there's not much focus to that. There's not much energy flowing in that direction. There's not much time, money invested in creating that. So the odds of that happening is none. It's none. As I'm closing here in a couple of minutes, where we are from was only the beginning. It wasn't supposed to stop there. That never was the plan. But because we have no plan for our lives, that's what happened. We are stuck in a center of nowhere. Somewhere but nowhere. But we are exactly where we should be in life because of it, but we are nowhere near where we could be in life. Because a lot of us just settling for where we are, what we are doing, what we have, the life that we live in. We living as if we believe that this is it for us. We living as if we believe like, I don't deserve more. You can say, now I deserve much better than this. I deserve much more than this. And you are absolutely correct. But our decision making and our actions does not support that at all. It doesn't. So because of that, a lot of us are still living in regret, wishing we could have did this, wishing we could have did that. Look, God woke us up to a new. Today is an opportunity to change that. Today is an opportunity to shift that path that we're on and hopping on the next path and going in the direction that of where we know we deserve to be in the next year, next 2 years. But a lot of us don't even care because we're just living in the moment. And our decision making looks like for the moment. And we wonder why nothing is changing in our lives. We're becoming stressed out, depressed, mad at life, mad at God, mad at the world because of where we are in life. It was our decisions that got us here. And it's going to be our decision that's going to get us to our next. Whether the next is the same what we are experiencing now, 3 years from now, or something much better. We have to start being intentional about our decision making. If I make this decision, how's that going to shape my future? If I make this decision, how is this going to create me a better? How is it going to guarantee me a new? How is this going to change my life forever? But we live in the here and now. So in 3 years from now, our decision making is going to look like the here and now. And then we're going to have regrets all over again. Again, if you did not see this a little bit ago, as it comes to regret, you can't change your past by no means. You can't do anything to change your past, but what you can do is look back at the regret, look back at the decisions that you should have made and learn from that and say, you know what, I am going to start making better decisions in my life, for my life, to make sure, because I'm being intentional, this is going to be the outcome of it at some point, but it would minimize and or take away the regrets that I could possibly have. That's the learning, that's the mistake to learn from. That's the regret to learn from, to guarantee moving forward the decisions that I make, it would be calculated and strategic to make sure that in the future, I won't have regrets because I made a poor decision today. Your life is much better than what it is. It's much brighter. Like your future is much brighter than you may think. But I need you to believe and know that that best is yet to come. I need you to believe and know enough to start being intentional about your decision making that's going to support what you know you deserve. If not, it's going to remain wishful thinking, and it's not going to get you anywhere in life. Where you are now, you will remain. Even 5 years from now, it's just going to be a different version of it, because you're not intentional. I'm not intentional with my daily decision making with my future in mind. So I encourage you to start looking into that, look into that future life of like what you will want to have, like what you will want to create for your family. You know they deserve better. You know you deserve better. Like, what does that future life look like? Start spending time in your future. Start spending time in your future. Seeing what that looks like. And don't you dare place any doubts on yourself. No disbelief. Like, that's just wishful thinking. I need you to believe wholeheartedly that you deserve it. I need you to believe wholeheartedly that it's going to happen. No one here? That's weird. Why are the gates open? I done better off parking around there. At least I know my car be safe. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're gonna park around the front. There's no security guard on duty today. So yeah, that's pretty much why I came on here, just to let you know that where you are, where you come from was just a beginning. Don't let your beginning remain where it's at. Don't let your beginning remain where it's at. You deserve much more. You deserve much more. And believe in your heart that much more has yet to come. Start looking into your future and seeing what that much more looks like, and begin your quest and journey to go to begin breathing life into your future that you deserve to have. Be intentional about your decision making that guarantees you that you're going to get there. If not, you will still have regret, and nothing's going to change until you begin to breathe life into a future that you know you deserve. But you have to know what that future life that you deserve look like. You have to know what it looks like. If not, then you will not manifest that thing. All right. So that's all I um that's what God wanted me to share with you guys. Hold on. That's what God wanted me to share with you guys, and uh, yeah, and get going, get started. Look, I live since middle school. I live for the weekend. So guess what? Even in my 30s, finally not living for the weekend, guess what my life began to look like? Like living for the weekend. That's the life I manifested. If you don't do anything to change it, nothing will change. So my encouragement to you, start breathing life into your future by seeing what that future life looks like, and then begin making decisions that's going to guarantee you that at some point in your life you will reach there. But about to hop up in this truck and go on this run, and till we meet again, be safe out there for your 4th. Make sure you make it home safe, and begin thinking about your future, because again, if you don't make plans for your future will make plans for you. And I promise you, and you might can agree already, that you're not going to like the plans that your future. All right, so anyway, I gotta roll. Gonna hit the road real quick, and I love you guys greatly, and just know that where you started from, it was just the beginning. God didn't mean for it to stop there. So you keep going, but you need to know where you're going. Spend time in your future, and every single day make sure you're making intentional decisions that's going to, at some point, arrive you at that brighter future that you deserve. All right? Love you guys. Stay blessed.